Hello and welcome back to the 406 Boys. Today we got a good video for you today. We are diving deep in the blood-soaked vault into the horror community and analyzing the best horror films by decade from the 1960s until the 2020s.
Whether it's slasher icons, supernatural scares, or twisted creatures, these movies redefined their genre for their specific decade. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
In the 1960s, I would say that the best one to represent the decade would have to be Alfred Hitchcock's classic, Psycho, as he dropped a bombshell into the genre in the 1960s, using things that were considered taboo at the time. With fun fact, this was the first film to ever show a toilet being flushed or even showing the inside of a bathroom, period. Where the film, for the two of you that do not know about it, is about a secretary played by Janet Leigh, who secretly steals $40,000 and tries to run away from it, only to end up in the Bates Motel. And what starts out just as a simple crime drama thriller turns into a psychological horror that you will never forget, from the beginning up to the end. And when you think that it's about to go a certain way, the halfway point just does a 180 and goes in a completely wildly different place that still had audiences blown away even by today. And who could forget the brilliant performance by Anthony Perkins, who plays Norman Bates, and the iconic shower sequence that is the reason why once you left the theater you were not allowed back in, and it changed horror pretty much forever.
In 1975, Steven Spielberg made a movie so terrifying it made everybody afraid to go into the water. Jaws isn't just a monster movie, it's a masterclass. To me, it's like what you would call a masterclass in suspense. It starts off when a shark starts terrorizing the town and people have to start teaming up and trying to take this shark down. When people like Brody teams up with the marine biologist Hooper, and then you got the salty shark hunter Quint. What follows is a very blood-boiling, heart-pounding man versus shark battle that, to be honest, is one of the best horror thrillers that I've honestly ever seen. With a terrifying score and honestly some of the best visual effects, it's honestly one of the best summer blockbusters I've ever seen.
As for the 80s, I had quite a few options, but I would have to say the best one for this decade would have to go to John Carpenter's The Thing, which I honestly think is probably John Carpenter's best movie. And it is a nightmare-fueled paranoia fest that leaves you with anxiety from beginning to end. Set in a research station in Antarctica, this thing just mimics everyone and everything, leaving people not knowing who really is the real person or not, or who is the thing. And the fact that you do not know, even from an audience perspective, even today people are debating who actually is the thing when, is kind of telling about the film's legacy. And it also has some of the best practical effects in horror film history, and I'm not sure if many have been able to touch it because it looks real. Not to mention the atmosphere that this film creates, and its haunting score is pretty unmatched and unlike anything I have seen.
In 1996, Scream slashed through the horror cliches and brought back the slasher genre to life. Directed by Wes Craven, this self-aware slasher film, it follows a girl, aka Sydney Prescott, who in her high school life is basically, without little information, is being her and her friends are being killed off one by one by a killer or killers, and it has a very well balanced thing of keeping you on your toes and trying to guess who the killers actually are. The whole plot, and they keep dropping this throughout the movie, of like the killer has seen one too many movies, and it's brought up by characters like Randy and many other characters throughout the movie. It's got witty dialogue and pretty good kill scenes for a movie that doesn't show very much blood. Scream both parodies and honestly perfects the slasher genre. It's smart, scary, and honestly, it's totally rewatchable. I've watched it a million times.
For the 2000s, I will have to pick Paranormal Activity.
Yep.
Because with a shoestring budget of only $15,000,
amazing,
with nothing but great talent and a lot of amazing tension, it just became pretty much a global phenomenon pretty much overnight. The film follows a young couple who are haunted by some sort of entity, and they decide they want to document it. And what it unfolds is almost sort of a rabbit hole of things that they did not intend to happen, and things just get worse as it keeps going on, and as the tension ramps up. And it kind of revolutionized the found footage genre when it's been dead for years. What makes the film scary is the fact that nothing happens, and you know something is going to happen. So when it does happen, you almost don't expect it. And it just leaves you with this uneasy tension that something's going to happen. You just don't know when it's going to happen.
Sinister blends true crime, supernatural horror, and haunting imagery into one truly haunting experience. Ethan Hawke plays a washed-up author who moves his family into a house that has a very, very dark past. When he discovers some Super 8 footage of a family that has some very dark stuff to it. I'm talking family murders type stuff with terrifying jump scares and a villain, an actual kind of terrifying villain in Bagul. This movie actually kind of fulfills what an actual scary movie should be. This movie actually did scare me quite a bit.
These are not done yet as of recording, but we'll add one on the list. The most recent one on our list, I honestly think has to go to Sinners. The most modern gothic horror film in the South. It's just set in a modern era. It follows two twins, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who want to set up a nightclub to celebrate the blues. But the only problem is that as the night goes on, as they're all having fun, there's a dark, sinister presence waiting for them. It's a slow burn horror film filled with psychological horror, religious symbolism, and just dread. Along with just tension that just builds and builds and builds until everything goes wrong. With very strong performances, a fantastic soundtrack, and just a fun sense of adventure and horror, and it has pretty much everything for everyone. At least for the 2020s, Sinners has my vote for now. There could be something that could take it over, but at least for now, Sinners has it.
That's our list. The most terrifying, most iconic horror movies from each decade. From Hitchcock to Haunted Tapes, these films absolutely left their mark on cinema history.
Was there a horror film that we missed in the decade? Please put them in the comments below. We would be very interested to see if we did miss anything, because I think we might have missed some, but we don't know.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we upload new awesome content. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Travis.
And we're the 406 Boys. See ya.